Everybody knows that they're going to have to compete in the speed climb and the Hurt Man Rescue.
These right here are Bachelin climbers, and that's what we do our work with. You have to keep one hook in the pole at all times. If you kick out, it's 2 points. If you fall, that's not good. That's 2 points deduction right there. And you're trying to do it as clean as possible, and they time you for it.
Then there's mystery events. They've had things like splicing rope, changing out a cross arm.
And there will be this speed climb here with the egg.
You dump the egg out in your hand, put the new basket up there, and put the egg in your mouth, and come down, and you can't break your egg. And that's hard sometimes coming down.
It's fun. You get to meet a lot of people, a lot of linemen from all over the country and the world.
In more than half a century, the Rock Hill Industrial Court has never flooded. Rising water from Deer Creek rushed in and rushed out just as fast and left behind a mess for area businesses. Dealing with waterlogged files and downed computers, well, that's one thing. But this is a company that has much bigger challenges. Soldiers, coffins, king and queen chairs, and a red carpet rolled out on a driveway to dry. Floodwaters engulfed the warehouse of the company Parties and Props.
We have a lot of fans drying things off right now.
And the company has other fans as well. Unbeknownst to them, an SOS went out to friends, family, and other businesses. Top caterers they work with are sending food. Other people are taking a day off work for a day of hard labor just to help. Mary Allison and her daughter Libby say now that it's happened to them, they have a deeper understanding about the devastation natural disasters can cause.
So much of the stuff you just read about and it doesn't affect you, and now it affects us.
Once it hits you personally, you start listening to it differently and, visualizing the news differently. You're like, oh my goodness.
Parties and Props set up for big, elaborate parties in large venues. They have several on tap for this weekend.
We have a prom, we have an Event America Center, and then we have a Liver Association.
And they plan on honoring their commitment to all of them, even if it means they might have to be propped up by the end of the weekend. Christine Buck, CW 11 News.
Daycare isn't what it used to be. And this is something no daycare can really match. The Elegant Child, a name that fits for kids and their parents. For starters, there's a school of dance here. And then there's martial arts for toddlers. Want your child to learn a foreign language? This child is learning Korean. Others learn Spanish. Need a haircut? Not a problem. A hairstylist is on staff.
And we're going to do a forward tuck and roll.
Gymnastics is offered here through a program called the Gym Bus. And of course, they have their own fitness coordinator.
Is that fun?
And if that's not enough, there's more. In fact, a new cafe will be opening soon, featuring everything from fresh lobster and prime rib to hot dogs and grilled cheese.
Everything in here is just A1.
It's gourmet food in a place you'd least expect it.
It's an added service for the daycare, to make it something different than any other daycare anywhere.
Other services include dry cleaning, massage, film developing, swim lessons. Really, the only thing for grown-ups alone is the cappuccino machine. This daycare is more expensive, but parents love it.
Yeah, but you get what you pay for, so as long as it fits within our budget, we'll continue to do it because it's what's best for the child.
It's a wonderful daycare. I personally, when I have children, I would definitely bring my kids here.
Just amazing. It's a great school.
Bye-bye.
In Wildwood, Victor Ojeda, WB11 News.
Volunteers answered the call this morning and afternoon in West Alton, Missouri. Tension was growing as people filled sandbags and speculated about what would happen. Amber Silk's house could be in harm's way.
I'm worried about everybody because after 93, everybody rebuilt. After 95, everybody came back. This is my first flood, and you can feel everybody's here. We're all working together. It's awesome.
There's one woman that traveled here all the way from the Gulf Coast. She has horror stories about Hurricane Katrina. She lost her home, and that's why she felt compelled to be here.
Really put me in a really bad, dire mental state. Tears, it all flooded back. Even the smell of the floods and all brought me back.
Kathy Campbell says in spite of her emotions, she decided to make the journey here from Mississippi because she could be proactive and help. Meanwhile, the National Guard is shoring up 7 spots along the 5-mile levee. There are a couple of critical low spots, including this one in the northwest section of West Alton. By afternoon, the water was seeping dangerously close to the levee.
They got a big job out there. It's a long levee that they're out there doing, and they could definitely use it. So people can come out. That would be a great thing.
The changing crest predictions went from around 33 feet today down to 32 feet, perhaps by Saturday. But those numbers could change depending on what Mother Nature decides to do. Christine Buck, CW 11 News. The Jennings School District was a pioneer with a high-tech teaching tool a decade ago. Well, pretty soon, blackboards or green boards are going to be obsolete thanks to something called the Smart Board.
If I had to use a regular chalkboard, I honestly wouldn't know what to do throughout the day.
Communication arts teacher Baron Walker says the Smart Board has bells and whistles that make teaching fun and interactive. For instance, instead of raising hands, the hat tells the teacher who to call on. Ronald Harris likes the way the electronic hat operates.
You get to get your name picked out of it, and then you don't always have to raise your hand. And other people, when the teachers don't see their hand, they could get the chance to speak.
And when it's time for the fluency language game, students perk up. Principal Delcina Bland says teachers connect better with students. Kids aren't bored, and disciplinary problems are way down.
Discipline is number one. I've seen very few kids that come to the office in classrooms that have smart boards.
All right, circle the word they stopped on.
One stumbling block, some older teachers aren't sold on the Smart Board.
Technology in general can be intimidating, and especially for a veteran teacher, for this new technology to come into the classroom and completely change their way of thinking and their way of teaching, it is frustrating.
But not children, because by the time they've gotten here.
Oh, these kids know more about the Smart Board than I do, I think.
Each board costs around $3,000 or more. Gary Gore Elementary has 6 of them and considers the Smart Board one of the smartest buys in education. Christine Buck, CW 11 News.